Hello everybody and welcome to Cooking with Jay. I'm Artillery Jay and today we are going to be making a cheesecake. So I went ahead and laid out some of the ingredients here. So I'll rotate this camera here. There's my mixing bowl. Make sure that's in frame. Almost. There we go. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a half a cup of 1.5 cups of graham crackers ground up. Now I just mix these up in a food processor and it equates to about 1 package of the graham crackers. The next thing you want to add is 3 teaspoons of sugar. Alright. And then 1/3 cup of melted butter. I use unsalted just because it seems to taste a little bit better, I think. Okay, so now you're just going to mix this up real good until it's like the consistency of wet sand. Okay, so you see it looks like wet sand now. Alright, next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your springform pan, like so. What I do is I take a little bit of pan cooking spray. Oops, my nozzle popped off. A little bit of pan cooking spray and just lightly coat it. Like so. And then you want to dump your pie crust into the pan. Like that. Alright. And then you just push it along the bottom. And you want it to be relatively even all the way around. You just push it down with your hand. You want it nice and packed to the bottom of the pan. So I also always make sure to get a little bit thicker around the edges because the edges seem to break when you're taking it out of the pan later on. So when you're done, should look like that right there. Okay, so I went ahead and I preheated my oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so I'm done with that mixing bowl. Next thing I need is there we go, that's out of the way. Next thing you want to do is you want to get 1 cup of sugar. You want a teaspoon of vanilla, which I got a tablespoon, so I'm going to have to cut that way back. You need 4 eggs, so I've got 8 here because I'm actually going to make 2 cheesecakes. And you want 4 8-ounce packages of cream cheese. So I got these 2 packs were on sale, so I've got 2 of these 2 packs, and that is 32 ounces of your cream cheese. So let me go ahead and soften this cream cheese and I will be with you in a bit. Alright guys, I've got my cream cheese softened up. So basically what I want to do now is dump the cream cheese right here in this bowl. Grab a spoon to scrape this off. Good enough. one. And two. Just trying to find the most open area on these packages here. Looks like this side might be the one. It is. Three. And this last one open here. There it is. I think. Is that it? Yes. And four. Very nice. Throw these in the trash. And wash the cream cheese off my fingers. Okay, so now you've got all of your cream cheese in here. It's softened up, like so. Typically, I like to stir it up and try to get it like almost smooth, so it's not in block form anymore. Okay, and then what you want to do is add your vanilla. And that was 1 teaspoon, not tablespoon. Alright. So that should give it more of a liquidy consistency. Slightly. Not too much. Just enough to let you know that you put it in there. Alright. Next, you're going to put in that 1 cup of sugar. And that's just granulated sugar. Alright. What I like to do is get started in there with a spoon. Now, typically you want to use a blender for this, but I normally don't. And the reason that I don't is because the cream cheese is so thick that a lot of times your blender wants to kind of bind up on you. Unless you got like a really, really powerful blender, which unfortunately I don't. But alright, let me go wash my hands for a second. Make sure they're nice and clean. Something I do a lot when I'm cooking is I wash my hands repeatedly. Because you don't want to get any sort of foodborne illnesses. Alright, so normally you would use a blender, but I'm not going to. Simply because I prefer to do it like this. Alright, so basically what I do is I mix it up by hand. Man, that's already all good to go. Yeah, that's super thin already. I may have gotten my cream cheese a little too warmed up. There's a couple of little chunks in there, but nothing too bad. Alright. So it's already pretty mixed up. So you want to try to get keep as much of the batter in the bowl as you can. Like so. Next thing we're going to do is the eggs. So let me go ahead and get that going, because I'm going to need a blender for this part. So let me go ahead and dig my blender out, and I will get back at you in a second. Okay guys, I got my blender out, and I've got my eggs cracked and ready to go. So what you want is 4 eggs, and you're going to want to add them individually. You want to blend on low. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that. Okay guys, when you're done blending it, it should look relatively like this. Basically when you're putting them eggs in there, you want to make sure that you're only blending it enough for it to blend and mix together. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your crust and I'm going to blend this just a little bit more. Okay, sorry about that. I had yellow from the yolk showing and I don't like seeing that. So anyway, you want to take your crust and you just dump your batter right over top of your crust. Should have a nice consistency to it, just like so. Just like this. What I need is a spoon of some sort. There we go. So you want to get all of your batter out of your bowl as much as possible. And I would suggest that as soon as you get this in the oven, that you go ahead and rinse this bowl out, because otherwise this batter gets hard and man, it's a pain to clean. Personally, when I'm cooking, I like to at least rinse things off as I go, so it's a little bit easier to get the dishes done when you're all done. And then you don't gotta soak any. Well, you really don't have to soak a whole lot anyway. Alright, so that looks like it's about it. Alright, good enough. Alright, so at this point what I like to do is kind of just smooth it out. Alright, now if you remember, we had preheated the oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That looks good right there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to throw this in the oven, and it's going to go in the oven for 55 minutes or until the center is set. So I'm going to go ahead and pop it in the oven. And I typically put the rack in the middle of the oven, cook it like that. Basically what it means by until the center is set is you want to make sure that if you stick a toothpick in it, the toothpick comes out fairly clean. And that it's nice and firm. Now a lot of people, if their cheesecake cracks on the top, they're worried and they think that they ruined it, but that's actually the way to tell that your cheesecake is cooked completely. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to let that cook for 55 minutes, and when it's done, I will see you then. Okay guys, so went ahead and cooked it for 55 minutes, and then I ended up having to cook it for another 10 minutes. And we actually, while we were waiting, we went ahead and made a second one. Now, the first one that we made, the crust, was I used this cinnamon graham crackers, and just like the cheapest ones that were at the store. And for the second one, I used these chocolate graham crackers for the crust, and I mixed just a little bit of Hershey's liquid chocolate in with the batter and just stirred it a little bit just to give it a little bit of a swirl. So that's the chocolate one, and then the regular one. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a butter knife, and I already did this, but you want to cool the cheesecake down to room temperature. Now, this one just came out of the oven. This one's been out for about an hour. So you just want to go around the edge to loosen it up off of the pan. And this is after it cools down to room temperature. So get that done. And then all you're going to do is pop your springform pan off, just like so. And then all you got to do is put it in the fridge. Can you open that fridge for me? So I'm just going to scoot it right over here to the edge. And set that down for a second. Okay, so that one is in the fridge. This one's got to cool down to room temperature, and then it will be ready to go in the fridge too. Now that's going to sit in the fridge for 4 hours. So it needs to be in there for 4 hours to cool down before you eat it. So other than that, guys, that's it. That's how to make a cheesecake. Pretty easy, just a few ingredients, and pretty simple to make. So hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Bye.